Does it feel as though you're just stuck with performance anxiety and there's nothing you can do about it? Whatever little tips you try, whether you get out there and keep performing, your nerves just never seem to go away. Well, what if that feeling was the biggest thing holding you back from beating performance anxiety? In this video, I'm going to show you how the most important step you can take is believing that you can beat it, and I'm going to show you how to kickstart that belief. I've seen some of my students go from constant dread of getting out on stage to seeing it as an exciting experience that they can't wait to do more of. You'll hear some of their stories in a bit, and you can do the same as well. Now, to start us off, you need to know about two different mindsets: a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Now, the fixed mindset believes that our abilities are basically static, we can't change them, whereas a growth mindset means that if we work at things, we can improve our skills and develop. If you're in the fixed mindset, then you see successes and failures out there in the real world simply as confirmation of what you already know to be true. And if you see things working for other people, changes going on that you'd like, then you tend to think, well, that wouldn't work for me because, and put in some sort of an excuse there. If you're in the growth mindset, on the other hand, then you're primed to learn from experiences and see them as a way that you can improve. And when you see other people doing things, you can either take that as a lesson or as an inspiration of what's possible for you as well. And the bottom line is that people in the growth mindset tend to see significant improvement over time, whereas those in the fixed mindset tend to just stay stuck at their current level. So how does this relate to performance anxiety? Well, the interesting thing is that your fixed and growth mindsets are not fixed in one or the other across everything in your life generally. People can have a fixed mindset in one area and a growth mindset in another. And most musicians will typically have at least some aspect of a growth mindset when it comes to practicing, because that's, if you've got to a decent level, that's how you've made that progress, by believing that you can grow. But most musicians have a fixed mindset when it comes to performance anxiety. And if you fall into that category, then you're just going to stay stuck at that level. You're literally creating a self-fulfilling prophecy that you're never going to get over it. So the first step, the most important step to beating performance anxiety, is to believe that you can change and make a decision that you want to change. And that means changing your mindset first of all. Now, it's going to be difficult to change your mindset unless you have some reason to believe that there's something behind this, that it can work for you. So let me give you two things that might help with that. And the first is to think of what's going on in sports psychology at the moment, how much progress we've seen there, and people have developed all sorts of practical drills where you can work on skills that people actually previously thought that either you had it or you didn't, it wasn't trainable. But now we've got a whole load of techniques for that. And you look at the top sportsmen and women and you'll see that they notice the importance and effectiveness of this. So they're working on this stuff day in, day out. And I also want to just give you the example from music of one of my students, Bryony. And we were working together for literally 6 weeks or so, and she saw massive improvements in this area, mainly from digging into her beliefs. As she put it, "I'm a singer-saxophonist gigging regularly and aiming to be a full-time solo artist. I've been performing for 20 years but suffered from nerves and never really performed at my best on stage. I'm now probably double the performer I once was. I'm much more confident on stage and I know how to deal with my nerves. Even better than that, I can now pull out far better performances under pressure than I would in my practice room. Performance has gone from being something scary to something exciting." So change really is possible as long as you believe it's possible. So now you need to choose to change your mindset. And interestingly enough, just knowing that these two mindsets are there and perhaps realizing that you've been adopting a fixed mindset to performance anxiety can be enough of a kickstart to get things to change naturally, slight changes. But I want you to go further than that. I want you to make a definite decision to change. So to start that off, I'd like you to write down in the comments below just "I believe I can change" or something like that, just to affirm that this is something you believe you can do. And a great thing to do is to go further and just write down exactly that on a little piece of paper for yourself. Leave it somewhere around the house where you're going to notice it and be reminded of it on a regular basis. And then you need to support this change. And for that, I've got one little word for you, just the word yet. So if you find yourself thinking or saying, I can't do this, or I'm no good at this, just add yet at the end. I can't do this yet. Makes a big difference. And on top of that, I want you to start reframing challenges as opportunities for you to grow. That's that growth mindset again. And also, think about processes of what you're doing rather than the outcomes. Remember, in the growth mindset, you don't have to judge success or failure based on the results. As long as the processes are helping you to grow, then you're doing the right thing, you're succeeding. So, are you saying that I can make my anxiety disappear completely? No. So anxiety is just something that different people naturally feel different amounts of. And if you're someone who gets quite a lot of it, then it's not going to disappear completely. And this, in fact, is a good thing. You don't want it to go completely. Remember Bryony talking about excitement of a performance. That's the same sort of thing going on there, but seeing it in a different light and at a lower level. You want a little bit of that excitement when you perform. I've got a video that you might like to look at that shows you why you don't need to worry about the symptoms of anxiety, and I'll put a link to that in the comments. And finally, again, this is not going to change overnight. It's something you're going to need to work at, and you're going to see slow progress, but that's totally fine. Remember, growth is what we're after, the growth mindset, and as long as that's happening, you're growing. Now, I definitely recommend checking out my video on focusing on the process as a great way to support you in adopting the growth mindset. And if you'd like the special practice and performance tips that I only share with subscribers, then head on over to playinthezone.com and sign up for the emails. They're free. I've been Morley-Fletcher. Thanks so much for watching. Please click below to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and while you're down there, why not hit share as well to pass this on to other musicians. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.